Yo, how are we, guys?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm excellent.
My fucking stomach lining is still recovering from last week. Look, even though it was a failed challenge, and I want to apologize to our viewers from the start, we are going to make it a lot better. But when I was on the way home and Inan hit the nail on the head when he said this, my stomach was bubbling, bro. It was like, it just wanted to rage. And until morning, I had work the next day, by the way. And at work, I felt like there was a dragon going to just launch out of my asshole, bro. It was fucking burning.
For me, it was I was in bed. I was in that middle of you're like sleeping, but you're not.
Yeah.
It's like my stomach. It's like someone's driving on gravel there. It's like, and I'm like, you know what? If I sleep, it might go away. But yeah. We did have audio issues last time, and we do appreciate the people that did watch on it. We found our error. The error was May. May was the problem, okay? Because psychology is not real.
It's a myth.
No, but look, we do thank you guys for watching it. We just got another shitty week ahead of us. Sorry that we just passed. What about you guys? The Qantas thing. Qantas CEO, what's his name? Alan.
That prick. Yeah,
Alan Joyce coming out. Well, let's just say that he's come out and said pretty much that if you want to fly Qantas internationally, that you need to be vaccinated to fly on his airlines. Now, if we look at the actual whole thing from what's the word, outside the box? Yeah, outside the box. Qantas technically owns Jetstar, so Jetstar's already on board. Think of it like that. Virgin's not going through the best of times at the moment, considering they almost went into administration.
Beautiful.
So
Get another segment of the market.
Virgin
Get the anti-vaxxers.
Virgin will at the moment take people with COVID, bro. They need the money. You got COVID and you want to fly with us. Virgin.
It'll be an extra baggage fee.
Oh, that's what I was
But look,
gonna do.
if Virgin, I think that if Qantas follows suit, Virgin will follow suit. Now, this will always depend on how the heavy-duty, bigger airlines follow suit, which is Emirates, Etihad, Singapore.
From the reports that I read, Alan Joyce, he says, quote unquote, he spoke to his counterparts, his competitors, or he said his friends in the airline business, and they said that they would probably follow suit as well.
Well, it'd be dumb of them not to do it because from a sense of it's not necessarily something to do with the vaccine itself. Okay, look, I get it. There's a whole left and right side to it when it comes to should I or should I not, what's in it, what's not in it, is it safe, is it not safe, and you can keep going on from there. It's more along the lines of, say something does happen on the airline, would they be at fault? Does that make sense? So say someone does get flagged. Do you know what I mean? Whose responsibility is it from there to go, okay, I need to get in touch with everyone that was on that flight, along with the attendants, along with the pilots. God knows where they've been. And then they got to go, because as we know, how many people fly on a plane? Say 300? Yeah. They just go, sprint out.
Look, it's all about covering their asses. Even when you go to a local cafe these days, the reason why you scan the QR code is one, for them to cover their asses, because if there's an outbreak, they're going to be like, who's been in here? They can't answer it.
But can I?
But like, sorry, bro.
No, sorry.
What's it called?
Sorry.
Is it a shock that this is happening? I mean, we spoke about this topic a couple of weeks ago. We all knew that this was going to happen. I think we brought it up in the podcast saying that they're not going to be letting people fly without, I don't know if it was off air or on the podcast. I don't think it's a surprise that, Alan Joyce has come out and said that this week.
Because you mentioned the QR code. Now, me personally, obviously, we all have lunch and you scan the code. Me, I have never put my name. I put my name down once because I had to pee in the pub. And that was the only place that I had to pee. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is every time they make me write down information about myself, I never put my real name. I never give my real number. So, and the point I'm trying to make is it's not really reliable. I'm sure I may not be the only one that's providing fake information, fake name, fake number.
I think you are, bro.
No, I'm sure I'm not, because I've got plenty of friends that I work with that tell me the same thing.
Fucking group of model citizens,
but
your mates, what I mean?
Bro. Like I wanted to go towards a different angle and go, put my tinfoil hat on. Like, is it not? How convenient is it right now that they're literally forcing us to take this vaccination now?
Not really. They're not forcing you.
Well, I want to leave the country. Are you going to tell me all that?
But see what it is.
It's the same.
Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, bro, it's the same thing as you getting a passport. I'm sure there's fucking some conspiracy nerd out there that goes, I don't want to do my passport. I don't want them to have a photo of me. I don't want to have that ID. But that's a prerequisite of you having to fly. And a prerequisite of you having to fly is that you have to be vaccinated. If you don't want to be vaccinated, you can't fly.
See, that's right. So I'm stuck in Australia, and it's technically.
Yeah, look, the way that I see it, okay, again, I don't have enough information to say, okay, the vaccine is, I should take it, I shouldn't take it, because, again, one, it's not my field, and two, I don't have enough information because every day a new percentage comes out. Yeah. Pfizer's 95, and then Moderna is 92, and then it's like, it's like so slowly I can just probably go to like a convenience store one day and it's just going to be, can I have the 95% please? And it's like, oh, you run out, I'll take the 94 instead. Like,
would you like the home brand or do you want the actual brand?
Can I take no frills, brother? Nah, but like it's going to come to the point where it's like, you're going to have to take it to enjoy your life. They're not forcing it on you, but if you want the freedom of what the government's offering you or what businesses are offering you, you're going to have to take it. And unfortunately, that's just what it is, though. Do you know what I mean? You want to fly overseas? And again, we're only talking about Qantas here, okay? We're talking Qantas.
Which I haven't flown with
Jetstar,
in years.
Virgin, whoever, okay? I think the big impact will come if Australia starts to influence Emirates and Etihad and Singapore and your Malaysia Airways and whoever's on. Yeah, whoever's on there.
In my personal opinion, I think it will. I think it's only a matter of time before Emirates and all those other airlines say it, right? But I want you to put yourself in the shoes of Alan Joyce and Qantas, all right? And there's all these customers, all these people who are flying, but it's going to be like, let's look at it from people who don't see this as a whole conspiracy and that, blah, blah. And they say, oh, bro, I'm not flying with Qantas. They let people who aren't vaccinated on the plane. I'm not flying with Qantas. You can look at it from a business perspective and how many people aren't going to. All right, you're going to get all the people going, yeah, bro, Qantas lets us fly without the vaccination, so I'm going to fly with Qantas. But a majority of people are going to be going, bro, this is for my safety. I'm not flying with Qantas because they don't want, not all the people on there are vaccinated. Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense. It's a two-ended sword. It really is.
That's what I mean. Like, there's a big division between the population. I'm sure there's a big percentage of people that are not willing to get this vaccination. Like, and I stand on that in that position. I don't want to get that vaccination.
I want to ask you something, right? I'm well aware of the whole conspiracy around vaccination. I worked in a school where kids had to be vaccinated. Why don't you want the vaccination?
I don't know what's in it. How can I prove? How can these scientists or these pharmaceutical companies prove to me that what they're going to be putting into my body is actually going to prevent me from getting sick?
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
But isn't that everything?
Yeah, I was going to say like your tomatoes,
your paracetamols, your amoxicillin, your penicillin, your codeine, your.
Yeah, but see, the information that I am aware of is the fact that scientists. Or people who are informed in this in pharmacy or vaccines have said that it is impossible to come up with a vaccine in the short term. What is it? How long has COVID been out for now? Since the first time?
Just under a year.
Just under a year. They're saying it is impossible. And right now I've been hearing reports that for the Oxford, I think it's the Oxford University.
I think so, it was Oxford.
They're saying that it's not as accurate as they're saying it is. So it just goes to show you, like, it's just the facts that I'm being presented. You know what I mean? Like, I'm entitled to my opinion. It's just, like, from what I can see, like, of course, I'm not going to say I don't believe in everything. Like, I've got a conspiracy theory for everything, but it just seems too good to be true. Like, you got guys telling me, like, it takes at least 2 years to come up with something. You got to consider that they've got to trial it. They don't, they got to consider short-term effects, long-term effects. How are they going to consider long-term effects? How do I know that this vaccine is not going to affect me in the long term?
I understand that, but
you know what I mean?
It all goes off estimate. For example, they look at you and be like, okay, Inan's been eating this diet, blah, blah, and, it has this amount of protein, this amount of sugars, blah, blah, and in the future it might cause heart, blah, blah.
Exactly.
So the stuff that they're putting into your vaccination, it's not a unique thing that they're putting. I don't know if they're putting hydrogen chloride, blah,
That's
blah.
What I mean.
They know what effect that has in another, and I'm not educated in this at all, but they sort of know what effects it's going to have. But if you're arguing from a point of view of, how am I going to know what effects? Dude, there's fluoride in your water. Fluoride's poison. There's fluoride in your water. Your food is all genetically modified. If you're going to go to the extent of, what effect is this going to have on me? Bro, your phone in your pocket is giving you cancer. Like, everything is killing you anyway. So you might as well take the vaccination and fly to whatever country you want to go to.
Well, you've just reinforced my point. If everything's going to be killing me, why should I have this vaccine so I can stay alive an extra year? You know what I mean?
Look,
your point validates what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say from the sense of can they actually find out, but we also got to keep this in mind where, again, I sit on the fence on this. I'm not a yes or a no. You're saying that how can we find a vaccine so early, yeah? Which was one of your arguments.
And another point I can make is, bro, I've taken flu vaccines. All right, normal flu, and I still got sick. Explain me that.
The flu vaccine makes you sick.
No. The flu vaccine does not, and I'm just quoting doctors, does not cover you for every strand of flu. Bro, there's like a billion strands of flu. So it's not covering for all of them.
But what the flu vaccine actually does is it provides you the flu pretty much, that your body gets used to when it fights it early,
your
so that
immune system
later
builds
on,
up to that.
Yeah, but then there's also research that says that weakened or dead pathogens who are injected into your body have no effect on your immune system at all. But like in saying that, bro, to be honest, what you're saying is everything's going to kill us anyway. I'm going to die. Bro, give me the injection. I don't want to go through trouble. I'll fly wherever you want me to fly to. I understand the whole cause of it, but the same thing comes into this. Bro, you know what? It's only a matter of time where this is not just airlines. Your kid's going to have to be, vaccinated to go into school. Your so-and-so guys are going to have to be vaccinated before they can work for government jobs. This is only the start of it. Airlines is only the start of it.
The moment that's going to start to kick in is once you start to hit people's finances.
Yeah.
Or once you start to hit people's children's, like Emin said. Once that little factor kicks in, I think you either... Actually, another factor would be if there's a database pool. Does that make sense? Yeah. Where it's actually implemented into something, whether, say, your license or your passport or something where the moment, bang, he's vaccinated. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And coming back to what I was saying, which was the vaccine itself, we got to also keep in mind, again, like I was saying, I sit on the fence on this, but I can also see both parties' views. We got to keep in mind that this is probably the first time in history, that I think everyone has shelved any other research involved, and everyone is literally focused on this. This is the first time the whole world is focused on this. You'll never get that ever. Do you know what I mean? People had research...
Until COVID 2.0 comes out.
Until COVID 2.0.
to an extent.
Tinfoil hat on. But yeah, look, there's a lot of little factors coming up, and it's going to be... Look, at the end of the day, we all know that when it comes down to leaders and politicians, it falls down to votes, okay? You know how you said that most people are... it's probably a big amount of people that actually don't want to take the vaccine. Yeah. I personally believe that the number of people that will take the vaccine heavily outnumber the people that do.
I did too.
But this also falls down to this. There's people that don't want the vaccine because it's going to kill everyone and we're going to turn into lizard people. I get that. But then there's people that are anti-vaccine, okay? But when it comes to that point where it's like, I'm not going to go overseas, and then 2-3 months in, man, I took it because I want to go to Greece and enjoy the Greek islands. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to come to that point where they're going to go, oh, well, I take this, I eat that, I do this. What's a vaccine going to do? That guy took it, I'm still alive. Oh, this guy that I know took it, he's still alive.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard a conspiracy theory about the government trying to control us with microchips and whatnot. Like,
Elon Musk.
Yeah. I mean, it's been put out there. Like... I don't know. Look, don't get me wrong. I've taken my vaccinations so that I can remember. I mean, the last vaccination I took was the flu vaccine before my second son was born.
Whooping cough?
No, just a flu strain. Just so I didn't jack his immune system before, whilst he was out, obviously, being a delicate time for him. But I don't know. I just don't know what to believe. I mean, how do I find out genuine information? I mean, now we're in the information age. I Google anything, and then you go through all these bullshit sources on internet. You don't know how reliable they are. You don't know how honest they are. I don't know. There's just too many questions here, regardless of whether people are going to call me conspiracy theorist or not. I don't know. I think it's just too good to be true, honestly. And regardless of whatever the agenda may be behind this, I just don't think it's what they're telling us. I mean, think about it. You guys have heard what's happening with that scumbag Gladys Berejiklian, yeah?
I like her in somewhat.
No, I don't. because I can come up with about 2 or 3 things. She lied to people about her having a relationship with that corrupt guy who gave out grants or had collected kickbacks. Yep. Secondly, she didn't conform to isolation rules that she actually came up with, and then there was a third one that I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. I'm just like, how many times does she need to fuck up before she's out? Like now she's actually put up a stance and said, you know what, I'm not leaving. Like not in those words, but she's pretty much said, like, you know what, like there's nothing that I've done wrong. I mean, you've been caught out lying, you've been caught out bullshitting, you've been a hypocrite to your own bullshit laws. Like, what has it got to take? Does she need to go kill someone like for her to get out? You know what I mean?
I did agree with you because I agree with you from the sense of when she took she said that she took the coronavirus, the what's it called?
Vaccination?
Not the vaccination, the test to see if you have it or not. And she didn't isolate to the mandatory days, which is usually roughly 2 to 3 days to begin with. All right. If it was a normal person, I do agree. You would have got fined or you would have been blasted in the media left, right, and center. I think that she's just too popular in government at the moment that she doesn't get affected. Look at the people that she has on her side. Like she went and did I wouldn't say she went and did it, but she had that affair with is it an affair really? But she had that relationship with that gentleman that got accused of, you know, all the money issues that he had
with Chinese investors.
And she survived that, and then she's surviving this, and she's
very
popular.
What's next?
She's popular in the elections though. I have to give her credit for that. And to be honest, what she's done throughout the coronavirus, if you look at every other state, you either got Queensland, who's a fuckwit to everyone, or Victoria, who, you know, everyone hates Dan Andrews for a second and then loves him the second after. Yeah. And then we were the ones in the middle. So I think that I sort of see her like Charlie Sheen at the moment. You can fuck up, but people are still going to love you. You know what I mean? Like she's hit a certain branch of category where she can actually survive dents into her career.
I don't know if there's anyone out there that agrees with what I'm saying or has other ideas. Please, like, you know, give us a comment. Let us know. I mean, surely I'm not the only one.
I don't believe that you're the only one. I said that there's many people that do.
You put me and my people in this little minority.
We're gonna tell your people to stay in line.
I don't. It's not that I'm anti-vax or anything. Like, you know. I just, you know, with all the bullshit that goes in politics, I don't know. I don't trust them. I really don't.
Okay, look.
You know what I mean? I'm stuck in this little thing and I don't know what to do.
This is what it's going to come down to, okay? And there's a lot of people that fit into so many different categories, and that this is where the problem is. Okay, you said to yourself, you go onto Google and you search it yourself, and you don't know what to believe.
Bro,
okay?
You find out 5 different views. Like, if I do 100%. That now, cause that's it. I'm done. I'll go build a bunker and start hiding out. You know what I mean?
Nuclear weapons are coming. But it depends on the person you are. Okay, now I know people who they look at that. Say a news article comes up. 95% of scientists says this. You go, okay, I believe it because 95% scientists say this. Then there's the people who wrote the newspaper, who owns the newspaper. Yeah. Where am I finding this? Is it a .com? Is it a .org? Oh, I don't trust CNN. Oh, I don't trust Fox News. Do you know what I mean? Like there is so much of a branch of people here that we're talking about that it's so hard to say. Yeah. You know, and these are your people. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so hard to find that because I know I've seen comments on social media from people where they go, the media can say this and I don't trust anyone. It's like, okay, well, how can someone convince you when, think about it, you're finding this information on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram, on
Wikipedia.
It's
trust the website.
It's all on an algorithm controlled by conglomerates. And you're telling me you're receiving the best news. Why? Because someone somewhere down there in America said something.
Bro, not even that. Like, look, information is so readily available for us, right? And it's great. But, bro, just Google, I have a pain in my right shoulder. You'll think you have freaking pancreatic cancer, bro. Like, it's ridiculous.
Self-diagnosing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just something small. I'll be like, oh, my eye's twitching. Oh, it could be that you have a freaking, like, you're going for a stroke. You're going to die in the next 4 hours. You start getting panicked. The reliability of what goes on the internet, bro. There are people out there Bro, and I'm deep into conspiracy theories. I love them. I thrive off them. But you go onto like a YouTube video. One guy makes a comment, all right, and all of a sudden that one comment made by some idiot who's writing in his room goes worldwide, and everyone's like, some guy on the internet wrote this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that goes onto forums, that goes onto websites, and then everyone, all of a sudden it becomes like the right thing. For example, there's this misconception. I don't know if it's a misconception. It's something that can't be proven, but they think that a certain injection that's given to children at the age of around 1 year old has started to show that there's a high chance that these children have autism or like other learning disabilities or something like that. But also at the same time, there's no proof of it. Like, yeah, okay, your son might have shown signs of autism after he got the injection. But before 1 year old, bro, correct me if you're wrong, they're just sleeping. There's no interaction between them anyway. So after 1 year old, they start talking, they start walking, and that's when you start to realize what the personalities of these children are. How do you prove that it was that injection that had that effect on that kid? If, for example, if the coronavirus vaccine in 10 years' time, they start to say, oh, it started to cause, an influx in heart attacks, how do you relate it to that and not the oily food that, 90% of the population has been eating? It's just very hard to connect one thing to another.
That's a great point.
I 100% agree with you, because it's going to come down to, I think people are just trying to find something to blame. That's all it is. And it could be something within their lifestyle, because say like 10 years down the track, we all start to grow horns from out of our heads. Yeah. Okay. We're not going to say, oh, it's the coronavirus vaccine. It could be something that, GMO plants into the GMO into the into the
evolution,
into the plants and stuff like that.
I was thinking evolution. Charles Darwin was right.
Start growing fins, but like it's,
bro.
Hard.
When you consider how much stuff that we're having that's unhealthy on a daily basis, where like I said, man, there's fish genetics in our tomatoes. They get this genetics from this ice fish that lives in Antarctica that has antifreeze in his blood. No, this is true. Okay. This is 100% true. They have antifreeze blood. So these fish that live in frozen waters, their blood doesn't freeze. So to be able to grow tomatoes in very cold conditions, they put the genetics of this fish into the tomato so it's more antifreeze and can grow in, like, bro, that is like, how do you morph a fish and a tomato together? And this is not
science.
Like that's got to be having some sort of effect on you. Not to mention, bro, let's admit that, Australian soil is quite barren, right? It's very low in nutrients.
Shit.
Bro, the amount of stuff that we're putting into this, bro, it's got to have some sort of effect. And like I said, bro, your toothpaste at home has fluoride in it. It tells you to spit it out. It says don't swallow.
No, I've got organic toothpaste.
We're drinking it, from our tap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it makes my teeth white.
What, fluoride?
Doesn't it?
I don't know. Apparently it helps dental problems, but Queensland doesn't have fluoride and they don't really have dental problems.
No,
so
is that 100%?
I have Colgate.
So, no, are they actually still putting fluoride in the water?
Fucking know if there is, because you can't taste it in your water. I have filtered water, so I don't know. But when I drink water from other people's houses, I can taste it.
You know what? That
Yeah,
makes
I'll
a
buy
lot of
more
sense.
bottled water.
I drink straight from the tap.
Yeah, so you've probably become used to it.
You know what?
So it makes sense. It makes sense on your views now.
So last week we established that you've got to see counselling, and now you've got to change the source of water.
Fluoride in the water.
So guys, anger management is from fluoride in the water.
Hey,
Don't drive a truck.
Mate, it took you a degree to figure this out. We did it in 3 minutes.
Psychology is a myth. Nah, but look, I agree with you from that sense, because there's so many other little factors that we bypass that we've become so accustomed to that we complain about other things that we are not in control of. Yeah. Like exactly what you just said. Like food's the biggest problem for us to begin with.
Bro, we're in an age where we're overeating and we're getting too much of the nutrients we don't need.
Speak for yourselves.
And too much, not enough of what we do. Bro, not from that, because you can go and eat tomatoes that you've bought. They don't have the nutrient-rich thing of, organic. That's why there's such a big market for organic right now, because there's a massive difference in it. Bro, we're not getting what we're supposed to be getting from our food because, one, we're mass producing, which means we're going to add additives to it, like growth hormones for our vegetables, blah, blah. Because think about what the earth was, like even 200 years ago, the population was way, way less. We have countries like China who can't grow enough food to feed their own people. Imagine. They're using all those things to grow their food, and they've still got to bring in the wheat from Australia or the rice from Australia. Like, we just have way too many people to feed in an organic way.
So you're saying we need some sort
need
of
a
virus.
pandemic.
We need a virus that's going to come and kill everyone.
We need a pandemic.
Depopulate the world. Like,
There's a better
you know
way.
what I
Let's
mean?
just bring in 5G. We'll bring in 5G, and people will get cancer from the radiation, and
no.
we'll.
No, not getting into this. This is not. We're not.
But it's the truth.
We're not going to fuck off.
No, it's the.
We're not
Because
getting
is it
into
not convenient that 5G was set up right as Corona?
Oh, was it
peaked?
now? So
Yes,
South
yes.
Korea. So
Yes,
South
I will
Korea
stand
haven't-
by my point.
So South Korea wasn't trialing it for the last 2.5 fucking years, and nothing happened.
I reckon Hyundai bringing out the electric engines has something to do with it as well.
Damn
Fucking
you,
hell, it just
Hyundai.
coincidentally is at that time that they fucking. Oh, bro.
We're not getting into
On a
5G.
serious
It's
note,
probably
though,
because of the bushfires in Australia that COVID started
you
anyway.
mentioned China. Did you hear the trade war that they're having with us or Australia now? That
Yeah.
apparently they've increased tariffs by 200% for wine.
Well, for wine, I saw that.
For wine, and apparently now coal ships outside of China entering have been stopped, and now all the tradespeople or whatnot are panicking. Or there's like all these mariners on these boats, and they're panicking because they're stuck offshore from China.
But
So it just goes like, what is China trying to do right now?
it's a two-way street, bro. Like, for example, those guys aren't selling coal, and I understand the economic stress that it has, and, you know, these people need to be making money, but where is China going to get the coal from? Where, like, besides us, is there another
That's what I'm
coal-rich
saying.
There
country in
probably
the
is
world?
an avenue for them to buy, considering they are the number one
Bro, like,
pretty much
where did this come out
producing
of?
nation
All
on earth by miles. It all happened because of the virus. So when this whole virus came out, but when we started to find out the middle part of it, which is when we started to think for ourselves and going, okay, where did this come from? Everyone started to refer back to China. We need to do this to China. China needs to be accountable for this. So Donald Trump led that. Then you had Scott Morrison.
China.
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 And Scott Morrison came out and said, well, China needs to be held accountable for this. And actual provided a report, the United Nations or WHO needs to go to China and investigate this. Such and so our Prime Minister was constantly hitting China up about this, and China said, well, fuck you, pretty much.
Can I ask you boys a question? You mentioned it's been a year since Corona's come into
under a year.
contact with the world. Now, my question being, how do you think this all came about?
Some guy ate a bat.
The bat.
That's what they say, but then
Nah, I don't think so.
Joe
I don't think
Rogan,
it's that.
Freaking bullshit.
Joe Rogan's accounted a some biological research facility in China. What was the place that started? Wanzhou or
Wuhan.
Wuhan, Wanzhou.
There's a bioceutical, not bioceutical, a biochemical
Yeah,
center
something like
around
that.
there.
I mean, do you guys know much about that? I mean, like,
Yeah.
are we holding China accountable? Like, I'm not saying they are, because
The problem is, one, we've got to keep this in mind, okay? Joe Rogan is a podcaster, okay? Again, I watch him, and he's a number one podcaster on earth. But a lot of people like watch him and be like, this is the information I need in my life. But in this sense, okay, what he was referring to, what they were talking about is, so we're in the city of Wuhan is an actual like a biochemical center where they actually make viruses such as this.
Yeah.
Now, whether there's proof that, okay, someone brought out or leaked or accidentally disposed of this virus.
Accidentally,
Yeah, accidentally disposed of this virus. We're never going to know this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like we it's just funny that because, yeah, we saw videos, people dropping down in the streets. Then we saw the bats. Then we saw this. Then we saw that. It was just more like, I personally feel like people are trying to put it towards something that's unhygienic, because every route was, oh, look how they're keeping animals in cages. Oh, look at their, is it called wet farms?
Wet farms, yeah.
Wet farms or something like that, where they keep animals and dogs and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. And it sort of felt like they were trying to push that direction onto people and trying to get it away from that. It could be true, but I don't think we'll ever find out.
I'm
yeah.
gonna bring common sense into this. I'm sure wet farms or holding, I don't know, poultry or like animals to slaughter to eat has been around for how long? Since the start of time?
No, because the first people were vegans.
Okay. Well, you get the gist. Like we're going pretty far, okay? And the point I'm trying to get at is, do we really believe that some idiot that ate a bat caused corona? Like, I don't know.
But what I'm trying to get at is, we don't have enough information to believe anything.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't say to you, it definitely came from the center. You can say, yes, there is a center that specializes in this, and yes, the dots are slowly connecting.
Yeah.
But for me to come out and say 100%, I've got no information on that. And I don't think anyone will ever will, unless China comes out and rats on themselves, which will never happen because they're a communist country to begin with.
If I can give any advice, I think we all need to start learning Mandarin because China will be taking over, whether we like it or not.
China.
But look, Australia, they have a big decision to make because, again, China is the leading, pretty much importer, one of the leading importers for Australia. My inner wogs.
Australia.
But if see, like when we go to Kmart and stuff like that, you see these shelves are empty. Like a lot of the shelves, especially when the pandemic was at its peak, you go in out of stock, left, right, and center. They're all from China. They are from China. So do we start to go, hey, without any disrespect here, hey India, hey Bangladesh, do you want to start manufacturing some stuff so we don't have reliance on China is not that heavy anymore? Do we start to explore other countries and go, hey, you interested in some coal, bro?
I think the thing that you have to consider is the price that we get stuff from China from. I mean, look, India is a great avenue with the population that they have. You know, the industry's starting to grow there. But what China makes for 1 cent, maybe I'm just throwing figures out here. India does for 3 cents. You know, and but when you're mass importing, mastering like production, that's a 3 times increase in price. You know what I mean? So that's all stuff you got to consider.
Do you think that's a people thing, but like as in, see, China, in my opinion, the way I see it is because they're a communist regime, okay? They're willing to cop the hardships so we suffer.
Somewhat communist.
They're full communist. You are Jinping is a communist.
Because it's like the only communism is the fact that the government is a communist state. Other than that, because it's a capitalist economy.
If the government's a communist state, the country is a communist state.
No, but it's technically like... I don't know how to explain this.
Whereas with communism, I think the government owns your big industries and stuff like that. Whereas China, they're privatized, aren't they?
Yeah, like there's a lot of...
It's a capitalistic economy.
It's really weird. Like it's not fully communist in the sense where it's like everyone is earning 1 cent an hour, you know, and
but
like
at the same time, you know, that's a massive like misconception, right? That whole idea of, you know, when America was fighting like communism in Vietnam, they were like, oh, the state's gonna own everything and you'll all be equal and blah blah. Apparently that's a big misconception. The actual, you know, the foundations that communism was put on, shout out to Chala, is actually not designed that way. It was more of a, you know, a thing that the West made up about communism to make fear in people. And I'm not a communist person. I'm not talking.
Nah, you're full
about
sounding
it,
like one right now.
But something that I learned in uni when we were learning about communism is that what communism is and what the West portrayed communism as being are two very separate things. So you saying that, you know, they're like a capitalistic thing. Maybe it's just a different model of communism that we're talking about.
That sounds much better.
Because we've got to keep in mind as well, man. These guys, I get it that China takes care of their rich. Don't get me wrong. I'll definitely be on the side of capitalism for that. But regarding people like you and I over there, these guys are slowly starting to implement a rating system on these people. Something that doesn't exist anywhere in the world.
What do you mean a rating system?
You guys haven't
on
seen
individuals?
That? Yeah, haven't you seen?
But is this off like Black Mirror or something?
Yeah, it's, you know that Black Mirror where that had that social media thing.
Yeah.
So China is slowly trying to implement this whole social, not a social element, but like a human value system, pretty much, where it's more along the line. I'll give an example. So let's speak from Australia terms. Yeah. All right. We live in the West. All right. Let's say that's 1 star. Do you know what I mean? Let's say that's the 1 star. So on your profile itself, because everyone is monitored pretty much in that country, you're only entitled to live in 1 star, to work as a 1 star, to eat as a 1 star.
Like that Justin Timberlake movie, the one with time?
That time one is more, I can afford to go to places. Does that make sense?
But if you've watched a Black Mirror episode, it seems like for example, if you've got like a 4-star rating, you can hang out with 4-star people, but you can't go into 5-star places, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, but that's horrible. Look, it's sort of what Google does with their reviews, but on a personal level.
Pretty much. And that's what it's coming down to, where like this is all, it's all stuff that they're trialing out, and you can actually find some, like if you actually Google this and actually researched this in the this has been happening for a while. Whether that's actually
This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah,
whether it's
same.
actually stopped because of coronavirus and stuff like that, and they all had to focus on that stuff. But it was coming to the point where if you wanted to fly out of the country, or if you wanted to, explore the country or move to a certain place, you couldn't, because like you said, you have to be a certain star. Do you know what I mean? Like how the Black Mirror episode was. That's what they're trying to do
Modern
there.
day slavery.
It's literally modern day slavery.
No, it's more like
it's worse
more
than that.
like class segregation at a really extreme level,
Yeah,
man.
a really
It's like, all right, why one star sit at the back of the bus, and like that's only if there's room. You know what I mean? Like we're going back in time almost.
Well, look how big it affects people, and you hit the one of the big factors on the head, which is school. Do you know what I mean? Because you and I all live in a one-star area, our kid will go to a one-star with
being taught by a one-star teacher.
That's right.
So you're never breaking the chain.
It's apparently you got to work your way out of it, sort of thing, and good luck doing that.
So you get like a guy come and review you 3 times, and if you get 3 times in a row, you get half a star.
You're a 1.5.
and then you're not wanted by the 1 stars and the 2 stars, so you're just like living in the jungle and stuff.
Imagine that you're a higher star than your family.
Yeah.
Like imagine that. Like I can't hang with.
I wouldn't kiss them, bro. Imagine what diseases they have.
They're 1 star. They're not vaccinated.
Yuck.
No, joking. But like
Blimey.
because we're going, like this is brand new information. Well, keep in mind, look what China's doing to the Uyghur people, and no one is doing anything about it. Like no one. You think these guys can't do something on their own people and get away with it? Like it's not hard for them. And we're talking about a country like that coming and telling us, oh, we fucked up because we accidentally let a virus out from our biochemical center. No chance.
Yeah. Look, at the same time, I want to talk on China's side. If something like this did leak, right, and if that's not on a government organization that was, trialing these vaccines and stuff, that was privatized, privately owned, dude, when it hit the world didn't know what to do. So what was China supposed to do on a national level? You know what I mean? Like, this spread out so far, and then countries were like, we were arguing about, do we block the borders and stuff our economy and blah, 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 blah. Bro, when this hit, no one knew how to deal with it. You know what I mean? And how do you hold accountable a whole country according to, if it's a government organization, I don't know. But if it's a privatized thing, how do you hold a whole country accountable and say you guys have to pay this $1 billion back to the whole world because someone privately owned sector in your country got this disease out in the world? Does that make sense?
Send the armies in and take over. Simple.
I wish it was that simple for almost 2 billion person
Are they
country.
almost 2 billion?
Yeah.
But if they all jump at the
1.5
same
or
time, the
1.6.
Earth would go out of orbit.
But look, with China, we know that the virus, the origin is Wuhan. We get that. I think the biggest problem was the World Health Organization. That's my view. Okay. Only from the sense of when it came out, and this is where Trump sort of gets his thing, which is where the whole China thing came from.
China.
It's more when it started to originate and it came out, the World Health Organization said it's not something that we need to worry about, which is why no one gave a shit to begin with. Then we started to see all the videos, people just going like this, job falling on the road.
And even they're arguable. There's people saying that they're fake.
Look, to be honest, people here have had it, and we haven't seen if that was the implication, the result of having coronavirus. I didn't see any of that in Italy when Italy got smashed. I didn't see any of that in.
I saw an Australian woman very early on who had just come from Italy, and she was saying, "If you guys think that this is fake, she's like, there's literally body bags in the street and stuff."
Bullshit.
But at the same time, there's no video proof, photo proof. You know what I mean? So
Exactly. Well, so it's one woman's word that was in Italy. Fuck her.
I believe her.
Nah,
She's
I
my
don't.
friend.
Nah, bullshit, bro. Everyone's got a phone these
But
days.
she had the eyes of someone who'd seen dead people.
See what I mean? Like there's so many different factors, and we've only touched the smallest aspect of this whole virus thing. From what do people believe? Where did it come from? Where did all this stuff happen? And we'll never find an answer. That's my opinion. We'll never find. Unless you can have whistleblowers, and I'm pretty sure China's taking care of all their whistleblowers.
Yeah, half those body bags in the street are whistleblowers.
To be honest, you know what? You know how we mentioned we started off today with vaccination, no jab, no fly policy. I'm sure I can find a dodgy doctor to get. I've got my jab. I'm going on.
Oh, look, this is already
flight.
happening. This is already happening with vaccinations to get into schools and stuff like that. So
that was why I was referencing a database pool where it depends on how they do this. Do you know what I mean? If it's
like they did say they were gonna have accredited places do the vaccinations, so obviously they're gonna limit out those dodgy doctors in the area.
Bro, you know what's gonna happen? Demand is gonna be higher than supply, and they're gonna eventually give it into normal GPs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. True.
You know what I mean? If they're putting 5 in a state, and then there's 8,000 people in a line every day, just like it happened with the COVID test centers. There was only a few of them. And then they started doing them in every hospital. Why? Because the demand was higher than what they could actually supply. So it's only a matter of time before it does get in the hands of dodgy doctors.
That's what I'm trying to say. It depends on how they keep track of all of it. Because again, if it's implemented into your license, for example, or your passport, there will be heavy security. It won't be here's a document. Do you know what I mean? Like these guys are going to be if it's to that extent. Do you know what I mean?
You take your passport with you to the GP, and as soon as he gives you the shot, he stamps your passport. You know what I mean?
You just see people outside.
I don't have a passport, sir.
But everyone just walking past, not even a flag.
Look, just to close up the topic, I think we've got a fair understanding that Inan here is against vaccination. So I just want to pose a question.
What made you think that?
I want to pose a question to both of you, right? Whether you're against it, look, I'm sort of fighting with this one. I don't think there's enough evidence for me to go both ways. But let's say in terms of a vaccination you've stepped on a rusty nail, Inan. Do you get a vaccination?
No, I take my chances. No. To be honest, the last time I took a tetanus shot was when I was in school, and my dad just bought his house in Granville.
You're due for one, bro. Go get one.
Yeah, bro, I haven't had one, and I've stepped on rusty nails.
I think that does the whooping cough and stuff like that as well.
Does it really?
Yeah, I think it does tetanus, whooping cough, and there's something else.
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm not an anti-vaxxer per se. I just don't believe. I just don't trust. I've got major trust issues with authority and how they go about this. Like, if they can provide enough evidence or enough information or credible information, then I'm more than happy to go. You know what? Start jabbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's go. But it's just at the moment there's so many sources I'm reading, both positive and negative, and I just don't know what to believe. Like that's my main issue. I just don't know what to believe. I'm not a specialist in this. I don't know enough information, like you guys mentioned. I don't know what to do.
So I'll hit it on what you just said. You said I'm not a specialist in this topic, which is neither am I. And but if you read an article that says 95% of scientists say you should get the vaccine, who do you believe?
Who are these 95% of these scientists?
All right, I'll list
like,
them.
have they asked
John D. Wilkinson?
So what the government's going to do is they're going to send out a package about this thick, quoting every scientist in Australia and what they've said.
You know what?
And then you make up your mind.
You know what? I'll take these if Scott Morrison and all these bullshit government cunts come up and go, you know what? Start jabbing me.
Did you know the guy who's in that Turkish movie that I recommended you to watch? You know the one where he's like in the village and he's
yeah.
So the actor of that came out in Turkey and he said, we should give this vaccine to the politicians. He said, if the vaccine kills the politicians, we save the world. If the vaccines don't kill the politicians and it cures them, then the politicians save the world. Just something interesting that was said.
So a Turkish man has solved all the issues worldwide.
Give it to the politicians.
Well done,
if they don't die, we'll take it as well.
Win-win.
Gladys, just find your local GP.
I hope she dies.
Calling you.
I am just joking.
Moving on from this vaccine, we can explore the whole conspiracy level 10
For
million
4 billion.
It's an unfortunate
But something
time.
that's not a conspiracy this week and sad news.
Oh,
the
yeah.
passing
So Gladys
away
Berejiklian is still a premier. No, I'm joking.
That's as real as it gets.
I don't know what you're on about. I can't
Diego Maradona?
Oh, Maradona. Yeah.
Who's that?
Well, look, to be fair, are you joking? I don't know if you're joking. He's joking.
We're going from one drug to another with this one here.
Oh, look, it's expected to have happened, to be honest, ever since I saw him at, what was it, 2018
the
World Cup?
Yeah.
No, when's the next World Cup? 2022.
Flying.
Yeah, 2018.
He was flying.
And then Argentina scored that goal.
Yeah, he was flying.
He was expected. Like, the way he died, to be honest, heart failure because he had...
Too much cocaine.
No, he had surgery. He had heart surgery or something like that. And he had a heart failure after that. But his life was so on and off. Like, for someone who was that talented, like Diego Maradona, like, you got to keep this in fact here. Like, and it's people don't actually like understand this logic when you say it. he's possibly top 3, even let's say top.
Oh, really?
Minimum top 4, minimum.
Wow.
Of the greatest footballers of all time. So we're talking about a sport that's been available for what, nearly 150 to 200 years here. He's top 4 out of every single one that existed. You can put him up there.
Yeah.
Easy. And if you had a list of top 10, he's in every single one of them.
Every person.
There's no ifs or buts about this.
Yeah.
To the point where you could even possibly say, like from a talent perspective, he's probably the number 1 of all time. Like you can actually have that argument. Now, again, for me, he's definitely top 4. Easy top 4. But, like, if you look at some of his goals and what he's done, he's always going to be known for his for his hand of God against England. But then you look at that second goal where he passed 5 defenders in a World Cup final in the World Cup and just waltzed it around the keeper, which Messi almost identically scored. He's just not... He's inhuman at the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was actually, I was reading it somewhere, he was the first player ever to break the world transfer record twice at the time. And I think possibly he still is.
Really?
Yeah, so he went to another team. I can't remember. I think he went to Napoli first or Barcelona first.
And Napoli and then Barcelona.
So yeah, he did that. Then he broke the transfer on both occasions going there. So it doesn't happen in this day and age. It just does not happen. It's
an ironic end for someone who was so fit, so good at the game, so good at sport.
I wouldn't say that he was fit.
At his peak.
At his peak. I mean,
apparently sorry.
Like I'm talking, you're the best player in the world. So if we were to put up there, you know, one of the best players right now, Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, their fitness could not be argued, right? Like, Ronaldo's a beast even at the age he's at. Maradona was that. And then to see his life come to what it became later on, it's like, wow, it's two very different things. You've gone from the healthiest person on earth to someone who's got, you know, so many health problems.
To be honest, there was an article. I think it was when England played Argentina, or it was when Paul Gascoigne. So Paul Gascoigne is an English football player. No, he was a midfielder. He played for England. And I think it was him and Maradona. And in the tunnel, Gascoigne went up to me and said, "Man, I don't know how I'm going to play today because I'm so smashed." And then Maradona turned and he goes, "Don't worry," he goes, "So am I." Like, you know what I mean? But Maradona was a top... You know what my Maradona sort of not implements, but like the understanding of it is sort of like Andrew Johns. You know when we look back at like Andrew Johns' life and we go, okay, he did drugs throughout his life. Look at the performances.
John Jones.
Same thing. Exactly.
The guy was killing everyone like while he was partying the week before the fight.
And in my opinion, it takes a certain level of athlete to do that.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean?
Can I count? Oh yeah, of course I agree with that. But I think it just goes to show you the mental attitude you have. I think because I'll put myself as an example. There's days where I've gone through some hectic party days, and then I've had to work. And what I'm trying to get at is, I think it's that whole attitude. You know, you're back, you're in a place you don't want to be. For instance, work for me, and it's like I don't want to do this, but you know what? Shut the hell up and keep going. And I think that's what I'm trying to get at with the whole mental
aspect.
Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's, you know, anyone can go on a bender and then be like, I mean, you just provided like 3-4 examples. You know, Andrew Johns, one of the best NRL players in the world. And the guy they found out the guy was a massive friggin' drinker. Like, you know, he was just an addict for all kinds of substances. Like, I completely agree. Like, I think the best of the best are, they kind of go down this road where they
can survive in all scenarios.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It just goes to what their mental space is at.
But see, again, it all falls down to like how I said, as in, we have certain people that do that as well. Yeah. And they're not as good. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it takes, like, we can look at certain sports, like you just said, like John Jones, for example. What was his famous comment to Cormier? I did cocaine one weekend and I knocked you out the week after, or something like that. And then you got Andrew John, another
Dennis
example.
Rodman.
Dennis Rodman's another massive example. Then you got another sort of similar example. You got Shane Warne. you know what I mean? The guy lived a party lifestyle to the left.
Bro,
And
the guy was a cricket player. You know,
But his partying was text messages, bro.
but,
He stayed up till 2 a.m. texting 14 different women at the same time.
but you know what? Those fingers still spun that ball perfectly.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He's
I
like,
just thought about that.
oh yeah, it's Elizabeth Hurley.
He was a bit.
Well, thanks.
But that's what I'm saying. And look at Maradona now, where I think where the bad thing for Maradona was, it's just, it's how he looked. Like there's certain photos, if you actually can find on Google, and we might be able to chuck one up here somewhere. There's just certain there's just certain photos where when he went into rehab, like he was
Fat.
that overweight,
Yeah.
his eyes were closing.
Yeah.
Like that's and we're like, if you show that to your children and say this is one of the greatest footballers of all time,
He doesn't look like a footballer in
Because
those
of
photos.
Ronaldo,
It's-
what's his Ronaldo, Brazilian.
Fat Ronaldo.
Yeah,
R9.
fat, he was R9. He was fat too at one stage before he became
he's
a
still
manager.
he's still fat.
Is he still fat?
right.
Yeah, I haven't
but
seen
he's
it.
more. You can see the difference. Like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
Ronaldo, where there's a story about R9. So Fabio Capello, when he signed on to coach Real Madrid, he actually disliked R9 because apparently he brought the whole party lifestyle into the club into the
team,
yeah. And it came to a point where he actually wanted to sell him because apparently he went into the dressing room one day and he just stunk of champagne and just all over the floor. But again, it falls down to what we were just discussing before. It takes a certain athlete to do that type of stuff and then to perform like R9. Like, do you know what I mean? Who people say that if it wasn't for his injuries, that Messi and Ronaldo wouldn't even be close to him. Like that's to the point that they put this guy.
Bro, growing up, he was the guy.
It was
late
him.
gamers.
The those Nike boots, and he was that. Remember that stepping over the ball? It was everyone just doing that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then Ronaldinho, and then et cetera, et cetera.
Ronaldo,
But
yeah.
but when we go back to Maradona, like it's just sad. It
Because
really
certain
is sad.
factors led to that. The guy came out of complete poverty.
Yeah.
Like if you go back to where he came from,
yeah.
Argentina. What is it? Is it where's Boca Juniors? Well, is it Buenos Aires?
I don't know the exact city, but it is.
But
Argentina,
anyways,
yeah.
like
I'll look
I
it up.
was listening to ABC News today, and they were saying it was amazing. His manager or his past manager was like, he goes, if you look at the difference between him starting out, you can see the mentality that he had coming from, complete poverty. The guy was literally playing with no shoes to the point where he was one of the biggest transfers, like you mentioned
Yeah.
before.
And that's a massive success story in itself to go from
Exactly.
that. And that's why I think he goes up into so many people's top 5 or top 10s, because he came from the absolute poor to poor and made it that far. And I think the point that Inan was trying to make is, you come from that poverty and you see that lavish life, man, you start to enjoy it too much. And we've seen too many times where people with a lot of wealth go down these avenues after they, find wealth after not having it for so long in their life.
Do you think that it was the poverty, or do you think that it was the people that surrounded him after his
that's
success?
A bit of both.
There's a bit of both.
Bit of both. People used him maybe for his money. Like, not using for his money per se, but like, right, all I had to take was one or two mates go, hey, Diego, let's go out, shout us around or get us this, let's have a good night together. Brother, it's on me. You know what I mean? The manager that I mentioned before, he said that Diego Maradona liked to collect Ferraris, but the funny thing was, in Italy where he lived, he had like 5-6 Ferraris, and the manager and him had dinner at his house one night. They went down into his garage where he had all the Ferraris parked, and they were all smashed because the guy wouldn't stop at red lights. That's how, this is how, I don't know what you call it, degenerate, or
That was his mental state. When
erratic he was, you know what I mean? Where they implemented a no red light law for Maradona. I don't know how, because I was listening while I was working, but something along them lines. There was this law in Italy passed that let Maradona go through red lights or some shit.
Oh, they took care of him, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
they really did.
They're still, Napoli is going to change the name of their stadium to...
Yeah, they actually did change.
They did change it.
Yeah, to the
Because did you hear they want to retire the number 10 number?
for a certain club.
Was it a certain club or was it all clubs?
No, they won't.
Nah, not all clubs.
No, I'm sure I read all clubs, and I was like,
won't be all
nah, it
clubs.
wouldn't be.
It won't be all clubs. Think about it. Who's number 10 for fucking Barcelona? No one will retire Messi's number, mate. No chance in hell.
He's going to retire his own number.
I think if Messi, I think if Messi did ever retire at Barca or leave Barca, I think they would have to retire 10. They cannot not do it. Like, surely. It's like 23 for
Nah,
Chicago Bulls.
you know why? Because Barcelona will be so dirty that Messi left
Yeah.
that they'll put some 18-year-old on the number 10 jersey and be like, bro, that's all you were. Like, you know what I mean? Like, make a statement. Because if Messi leaves, it's not going to be on good terms.
Well, it's already not
It's
on
not
good
already
terms.
on good
Already
terms.
on good
And
terms.
pretty much Man City came out this week and said that we don't want him because
Yeah.
of his price and the age. So he's either going to take a massive pay cut to say to
No,
Barca,
he
like, fuck off,
won't.
which he won't,
Come on.
or he's going to be stuck there and he's going to retire.
Man City are signing Messi. You heard it here first.
Wow.
There is no one else that can sign him.
And
Not
I don't
Chelsea,
think anyone will.
Not Real Madrid, not PSG. It's Man City.
I don't think they will.
Man City is. Where are we now? We're in January, aren't we? No, sorry, not January. We're in November.
Almost
Okay,
December.
we're in November.
Almost December.
I don't think that they will announce it in January because it would cause too many problems for the rest of the season for Man City and Barcelona. It'd be stupid if they did. Again, it is Messi at the end of the day. Messi's contract as of December 31st is up and done. He can speak to whatever club he wants to. And he's made it very clear that he does not give a fuck about Barcelona right now. Because what was his last comment? He said, he goes, I'm sick of being blamed for everything wrong at this club. He said that blatantly. And this was to the media. Okay, so he's come out and said that. His contract is up. Okay, look at the dominoes falling into line. His contract's up in January. Ironically, Guardiola just signed another 2-year contract with Man City.
He's not going Man City.
He's going Man City.
No.
Okay.
If he is, it's going to be a massive pay cut.
No. Because I'm coming to this. This is all part of the plan, guys. All right.
You heard it here first.
So what's going to happen? Okay. Man City owns New York City FC. Okay. So what they're going to do, in my opinion, is they're going to go to Messi. All right. I'm going to pretend you're Messi. All right.
I'm Messi.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? No, it's more along the lines of, all right, look, you're going to come to Man City. Okay. We can't afford £1 million a season for you. Why? Because Europe, the UEFA, falls under financial fair play. But we also own New York City FC. So what we're thinking is we'll give you a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, whatever you want to call it. Okay? 2 years at us until you're 35, 36. Okay? We'll get the best out of you. Then spend another 2-3 years at New York City FC. We'll pay you 300,000, or we'll make you the number one player. We'll make £500,000 a week, which they can afford. And the rest of the money that we owe you, we'll give it to you in America, where there's no financial fair play laws or nothing. And we'll pay you £2 million a week over there because the Abu Dhabi group actually owns all 3 clubs. Mm-hmm. There's your plan.
What's the gain for Man City, though?
What's the gain for Man City? One of the best players in the world. Simple as this. Think about it like this.
You're
gonna gain a player who has been ridiculed his whole career for not showing himself in the Premier League. Yeah. This is his chance under the guy that won him, or that guy that they both won together, or Messi won it. 2 Champions Leagues, how many La Ligas, and this is his chance. And he's not coming into a team like Barcelona. Look at the team he's coming into. You got to inform Sterling. You got to De Bruyne. You have Aguero, who if he stays fit, you got to Aguero, Messi.
Finisher.
Aguero, what is Aguero? Aguero's son. Aguero, what is it? Yeah, Messi is Aguero's son's godfather. I think that's how it was.
Oh, they're both Argentinian, aren't they?
They both love each other. They pretty much just, do things together. But like, like the dominoes just all fall in place. Who else is he going to sign for?
I personally think no one's going to sign him.
So he's just going to leave Barca and retire?
He's going to retire.
No.
Yep.
Retire, man.
If Ronaldo's at 36 or 35 and Messi's 33, no chance, man. If Giggs went to 41, look at the way Messi's playing now.
Yeah, but I don't...
How old is he now?
33. Or 34, one of them two.
He's going to retire 33.
No, he won't.
I don't think he's going to retire, but
Rooney's fucking 68.
I think he'll sign again with Barcelona. Bro, there's no one who's going to pay him. City is not going to pay him that much money to come to City.
Why? Sterling's on £300,000 a week already.
Yeah, but Sterling does shit.
Sterling 300 grand.
Because if
look at his name.
Sterling
I need to be a footballer.
Nah, but because I don't rate Sterling at all. I don't care how informed he is right now. I never liked him when he was at Liverpool. He's a flop.
He was good at Liverpool.
Sterling's a gun.
Nah, bro.
I'll give you another one. Paul Pogba. He's on £280,000 a week. There you go.
Does nothing.
And I'm telling you now, paying Messi even £500,000 a week, making him the number one ever in history, Can you imagine how many shirts that guy's going to sell?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the amount of advertisement? Who's he sponsored
Very
by?
anti-Messi.
They're not gonna, because they're
Very
gonna sell
anti-Messi,
nothing.
I mean.
Man City has no fucking supporters. Who are they gonna sell shirts to?
They're going to sell
Because
it
that's
in
the
the Middle
point.
East. All the Arabs are going to go, Messi. Dude, I'm telling you now, whoever is a Barcelona fan is going to turn into a Man City fan. I'm telling you that now.
Oh, yeah.
Because
And every Barcelona fan is people who don't understand about football and they just know Messi. that's the fans you're gonna get Man City. So fucking awesome.
like, can you imagine one of the greatest footballers of all time?
Because you're so anti-Messi right now.
I'm not anti-Messi. I'm not being anti-Messi.
He's anti the plan.
I'm being, I don't think that Man City is gonna take on Messi.
Because regardless of whether Messi does anything at all, like in terms of winning trophies, because just with the whole
Because do you think they're gonna sell 500 grand of shirts a week?
Fucking oath, I think.
No, they're not, cuz.
But you got to think. But you got to keep this in mind. I mean, they're not paying a transfer fee at all. You're gaining the greatest player of all time for free. All you have to worry about is wages. No, that's it.
I understand. I understand that.
And if Juve can make up most of the money that they spent on Ronaldo on just shirt fees, because think about it, they can do it, man.
Yeah, Juve is a massive team, but
they are a massive team. But Man City at the moment, think about it, they're the champions last 2 out of the last 3, or was it 3 out of the last 4, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You got Pep there now. You got De Bruyne there. You got Sterling. You got Edison. This is a superstar squad, and then you're adding Messi. Do you know what I mean? And then icing on the cake, let Ronaldo go back to United. Boom. Yeah. The Premier League's back. Or not back, but
look,
the Premier League is number one.
Bro, as a football supporter, that's an amazing plan.
That is amazing.
I wish it does happen. I'd love to see the both of them playing in the EPL together up against each other in the 2 same cities as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Ronaldo won't go back to Man U.
No, he won't. But, bro, Messi's attitude stinks. You're buying a whole disgusting attitude with him. And bro, he's going to come to Man City and he's not going to be happy in my personal opinion.
What's wrong with Messi's attitude?
Bro, he walks as a guy's fucking running past him.
Yeah, but do you know why he did that? I saw that video clip. You know why he did that?
Why?
Because what he said at the beginning, I think what happened, and this is my view. I'm just going to pretend like I was there, like a fly on the wall. I reckon he approached the current president, which is where the problem is. He said, look, I'm done. I've had enough, and I want to leave. And they said, get fucked. Pretty much, I reckon.
We still have your contract. Yeah.
I reckon they played hardball, and I think Messi went there with the whole, look, I've done what I can for the club. I can't do anything more. Look what I've won. Look what I've brought to Barcelona. Just grant me this and let me go. And they pretty much said, get fucked. Yeah. And then now he's going, yeah. That's why they have that whole. That's why they have that whole the presidency election coming up, and you got a coach that sucks to begin with. Ronald Koeman, he sucks. Okay, he did one good thing at one club, and everyone thinks he's a superstar. Yeah. Okay, you got a team that's downhill. Like literally, Barcelona is downhill. Piqué's out for the season. You got no proper midfield. You got no proper attack. Luis Suarez is out for the season as well. He's going to go, I'm going to sign a contract for what? To play with 35-year-olds, 36-year-olds? Yeah. Like, that time's over. Like, if you said, oh, Iniesta's there, Xavi's there, or Neymar's still there, or something like that, yeah, you can probably spin it up for him, but what is he going to do? He's not going to... I reckon he'll only sign a 5-year contract if he runs that club. Like, literally.
Who, Man City?
No, Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona. And they're not going to give him that.
But let me ask you this. With a player like De Bruyne, and I fucking love De Bruyne, I think he's amazing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Do you think Messi's going to be able to hack having someone as good as De Bruyne on his team?
But they're two different positions here. Because you're putting now...
You don't think they'll sync together?
No, they will definitely sync together because De Bruyne is more in the category of Iniesta or Xavi. Mm-hmm. Where Messi's playing, who's playing there? Riyad Mahrez is playing there. Man, Messi's doing this. Buy Mahrez. I know you're a good superstar. Or go on the bench and you figure it out. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'll just do that to him.
When Messi gets tired in the 60th minute, you can come on.
Pretty much. Having a player like De Bruyne will work beautifully for Messi. Okay. Having a player like... who else is in that midfield there? Not Fernandinho. Not David Silva's gone. But let's just say Sterling. Okay? You have one of the great wingers who's actually thrived under Pep coming and going, okay, I'm going to learn off possibly one of the greatest players of all time, if not the greatest player of all time. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know because Maradona's passed away. So I'm contradicting myself saying if not the best. But I think that it's a strong possibility. I won't say they won't do it. My only other option that I would love to see
is Pep goes to Barcelona and brings De Bruyne and Sterling with him, and Messi will stay.
And imagine that, and after that, Messi goes to Man City still.
Full dog move.
No, my only other option that I would say is if they can afford him, Messi goes to Juve.
Bro, that would be fucking amazing.
That's the only other option there because
Juve.
You
plays with
play with
Barcelona
Ronaldo
on the left wing, Messi on the right wing, and
Did you say Barcelona on the left wing?
no, you're not. Sorry, did I? Ronaldo on the left. So
And Messi on the right.
Messi on the right, and you could put a stick as a striker, and you probably still get hundreds of goals.
Play 9 men, bro. Don't put the front 2 up.
But see, you know what the funny thing about that would be? Can they actually communicate? Can they actually work together? Which they've never done before.
You know what would happen? They would split the team up in half and be like, bro, you're on my side. You don't pass to Messi, bro. That's it. You don't go that way.
Bro, pretty much.
The guy in the middle is just stuck like,
He's like, I like my job and I like my salary. But yeah, look, going back to Maradona, like it is sad, unfortunately, but
60 years old, very young for a sporting person to be passing away in this day and age.
And when your time is up, it's up. Sorry to be the negative cunt, but that's the truth.
it is. And
if
then
he took that corona vaccine, he would have been all right. But
look, to be honest, you know what I was thinking about the other day? Okay. I was actually thinking about something along these lines where we're reaching a point in, say Hollywood. Let's look at Hollywood for a sec, where so many legendary people are close to dying.
I think about this all the time. Like, your old school actors,
Where
like
heavy duty bosses. So
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Robert De Niro,
Robert De Niro, Al Pacino,
Morgan Freeman.
Martin Scorsese, Clint Eastwood. Who died just recently? Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Like he just passed away. Do you know what I mean? Who else is there? Your Meryl Streep's old too, and she's a legend herself. But like,
You've got a whole generation of amazing Hollywood reaching that age now.
the changing guard sort of thing.
The people we grew up watching.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Like we look at back, like I didn't realize this. I know he is this age, but I didn't actually realize it because I've grown up with him.
Yeah.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah.
the guy's 50-something years old.
No, he isn't.
How old is he?
Wow.
He's not 50.
He is old now. Okay,
What?
and when I found this out the other day, I went, what? And I started to hold on. Let me just
50? He's looking fucking magical at 50, bro.
The guy, he's 46.
Okay.
Okay, so he's 4 years
Bro,
from
if I
50.
look like that at 46,
Your wife's doing well.
I wouldn't be married. No, I'm joking.
Should definitely be punching. But it's all right because you little two dick riders, fucking all those people are getting old, but we've got Zephron, Mefron to fucking take over those people.
Yeah.
Dude, the next generation is not, in my opinion, is not at that caliber.
Yeah, but
But you got to also consider, bro, not only these actors, these big directors are getting old as well. Your Quentin Tarantinos and stuff like that, they're starting to get to a ripe age as well, man.
yeah, but someone will always come.
Someone will come
man.
and do different things and probably better things than these guys. You know what I mean? These
Like
guys.
we look at what's his name, Dennis Villeneuve, or I can't say his last name. He's a French director. He did the latest Blade Runner, which was an amazing movie, and he did Fruitvale Station. I don't know if you guys watched it. It's got Michael B. Jordan in it. It's actually a very, very good movie.
Fruitvale Station.
Yeah, it's one of the first movies he did just before he did Creed. He did the Fruitvale Station. I
Good
heavily
movie,
recommend. Amazing movie. But
Michael B. Jordan's a sexy cunt too, by the way. My dad.
Wasn't
he the sexiest man
Is that no
alive?
homo or?
Homo? I don't care what you think, man.
There's
Straight
definitely
up.
homo there.
You know what? If he was next to me, he let's just keep it at that.
If he's next to me, my wife. I don't know. No. Look, credit due. He's a very good-looking person, but like coming back to the talent perspective, I think that there'll always be someone.
Yeah, there
You know
will
what I mean?
be.
But it's just funny. Like within a couple of years, this could all happen. Do you know what I mean? Like where to the point where like we're lucky that The Irishman came out because I get another one, Joe Pesci, Iron Man. What's his name? Al Pacino, and all four of them were in it.
Yeah.
All four of them. And if they pass away, look at the movie that they're going to refer back to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I wish it happened. Can you imagine them when they were younger? Like imagine a full on like that Scarface period. We're talking the 1980s, 90s, where they imagined like Scorsese 90s. Like added Al Pacino into Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Like far that would be an insane movie, man. But what was your quote, Inan? Everyone's got to die. Full mellow.
When your time is up, it's up. We all got to go. Well, it's true. Like I don't know if it's just the way I think. Whether it's a sad thing to think of it like that, but it is. Like one day I'm gonna die. Like unfortunately, we all gotta go. It's the only guarantee in the world.
And taxes.
Yeah. But you know what I mean.
You can dodge them.
Yeah, you can dodge them.
It'll catch up to you. But yeah, so look, we've covered a few topics here today, boys, but it's been a good week for us.
Yes, it has.
We're wrapping up.
Yeah, we can wrap up.
Yeah. Look, just a little bit of a warning, if you like, for some upcoming weeks. We have Fatih here, who's expecting to be a father within the next few weeks or month or so. There may be changes to what's going on with the podcast, just because there's so much changes happening with us in our personal lives. But we're going to try and get some content out there, regardless.
Hopefully.
So yeah, regardless in that state. It'll either be two of us or one of us.
Or none of us.
And we could recoup certain clips. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of entertaining content around, so I'm sure we won't be disappointed. And you guys won't be disappointed.
Just while we're on that topic, I'd like to see some of you guys commenting down below. I've had some suggestions face to face about some challenges if Fatih is out of the question for Inan and I can do. If you guys know Inan and I, we pretty much have no boundaries, no limits. So whatever you got, to an extent.
Kids. I have kids, and I don't want them to see me doing stupid shit in the future.
But like in terms of any challenges that you guys have seen other people doing, we're happy to take it on.
Bring it, bitches.
Stick some hot sauces up your ass.
That already happened last week.
Look, just before we wrap up as well, now we have a common factor here with a friend of ours who's just recently given birth. He's also our hairdresser, so just a shout out to Khan. Congratulations to him and his wife for his baby girl. Was it?
Baby girl, yeah.
Baby girl. Congratulations. I don't have a haircut because of you, so
Welcome
I blame
to
your
the club.
Child for me not having a proper haircut today. So tell it to go back up.
Same. And if you guys want a good haircut, there's a guy called Inan who does really good haircuts.
Yeah,
so
I just bought a new trimmer wall. I'm ready to go, as you can see. Look at that.
Look at that
sexy guy.
Skinhead.
Take your headphones off so we can have a good look. Oh yeah, mate.
Who's Zac Efron? But yeah,
Zac Efron.
Congratulations to Khan again.
Yes,
shout out to
Khan.
his business as well, the Coach House, which is located in the CBD of
Yeah,
Parramatta.
honestly, like I don't have loyalty to barbers or hairdressers, but like I'm not blowing smoke up his ass. He gave me the best haircut in my life. Like it wasn't the actual haircut, but it was a whole treatment. It was just a beautiful atmosphere. Like I'm not trying to give him a plug or anything, but honestly, like I consider him one of the best haircuts that I've ever received.
Just don't book an appointment for Wednesday at 6 p.m. That's my fucking time, cunt.
All right, boys. Good catching up with you.
Yes, as always.
Till next week.
See you next week.
See you guys.
Bye.